Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM. And also online at mykcr.org.
Central Hudson reminds you, when you're doing yard work, safety matters. If you use a ladder, be aware of overhead electric lines, including the service wire that runs to your house. Even wooden ladders can conduct electricity with dangerous results. And be very careful if there are electric lines above or near a swimming pool, and you're working with skimmers, brooms, or other long-handled tools. Central Hudson wishes you a safe summer.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Jackie Lovezzo. I'm from Lake Katrine, and I support the Kingston Community Radio because it is an invaluable resource to the community and its residents.
This programming is brought to you by the Friends of Kevin Cahill. As a strong advocate of local broadcasting, Assemblymember Cahill urges you to support Kingston Community Radio with your time and donations. Your contributions keep KCR vital and on the air at FM 92.5, AM 920, and on the web at mykcr.org. Please join Assemblymember Cahill and send your gifts of $10, $25, or more to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. Together, let's keep KCR alive.
All right, folks, good morning. This is Thunder Thursday. You're here. We're there. Oh, no, we're here. You're there.
And who are you?
I'm Tony Marmo.
And I'm Donald Williams. Thank you for having me again, Tony. Thunder Thursday, I love
Thunder
that.
Thursday, man.
The one time you didn't show, somebody
Yeah.
asked me to do that.
And you said,
I
yeah,
respectfully
I don't think so.
declined.
It was Guy.
Yeah.
Guy asked you to do it.
Was it?
Guy Greco asked.
Oh, it was Guy. Oh, I thought you said it was
You're like,
I.
look
No, it was Guy Greco.
Guy Greco.
Guy would ask you to do something like that. He's
He's a
good.
funny guy.
So, Judge, how are you? Busy.
Surviving.
Okay.
Surviving
is
yard work.
Well,
Another
yard
4
work
yards of
stuff.
mulch to
Wow.
spread, Tony? No.
Pick things up, put things down.
I can do mulch. I can't do soil. Soil's too heavy. Mulch is good. But,
Yeah.
the Italian.
Yeah, I know. You
gotta
want to
get your
play in the
hands
dirt,
in the
man.
soil.
You got to play in the
What is
dirt.
that about?
I don't know. We're earthy people. We just like. So my name in Italian means marble. Marmo. It does. So which means we were. You
Wait,
find that
wait.
humorous.
First of all, the first question I have, did we
Oh yeah, we
contact each other about the color coordination?
Man.
Look at that.
I
It's pretty
saw
good.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah,
marble. We were stonemasons.
Number
stoneworkers.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with hands in the earth?
Oh, well, no, I was going to tell you. The connection is we like, Marmos build, walls and play with stone and bricks and stuff like that. So
Italians.
it's a professional name back, it's like Miller, right? Or Tanner, Miller, so those names like that. They're names based
Brett
on your...
Schneider was
Brett Schneider.
my deceased wife. Her maiden name was Brett Schneider, which apparently is
What is that?
board maker
There you go. Yeah.
in German. Licardo.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's maiden name was Licardo. What is
It's a
that?
good meaning. There's got to be a meaning for
Oh,
that.
I'm
It's
afraid to
it's
even ask.
Well, the other part of it is there's either familial connections, with like Johnson, your son of John, right?
Oh.
And then there's the geographic one, where Leanne's last name is Pretsch, so that she grew up her family in Germany was from the Pretsch River. So they grew up on the Pretsch River.
I'm watching it smiling. I got to tell you, I really look forward to these Thursdays once a month.
Yeah.
You really are an amazing person. And I'm not, because I like busting your chops.
I know.
Because you return the favor.
Oh, absolutely.
You are amazing. Every time I talk to you, you're a part of a new
something or other.
Local community organization.
Yeah,
Your,
well,
your
it's just
knowledge.
my blood.
You are a vast resource of useless information.
Exactly. Zero. Trivia.
That's
Trivia.
not true.
No, that is
I just
true.
love
That
that
is
saying.
Yeah, no, I
I
figure
used to say that to so many lawyers. Vast resource of useless information. I don't know why it was that many lawyers did not like appearing in front of me, Tony, but anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, I dig the community. I'm one of the things I didn't share with you, I guess, starting in July, I'm going to be chairing the Ulster County Workforce Development Board, which is good. Kind of, what I'm doing with Norman Staffing. So it's not totally like in left field.
No, it's
so it's really,
can't imagine
we need
anyone
all
more
kinds of staff.
qualified to do that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we
How
need
is it
staff.
going now?
In fact, I could probably get you a job too if you needed one.
On the bench? The only thing that I would like to do, other than volunteer work, like this,
which I get. I know.
would be to be on the bench. I have to admit that I miss that. I do miss it. I miss, it was great. And we've had Paul O'Neill on, just picking a jury with prospective jurors.
Yeah.
To have them come in, look completely disinterested, if not downright angry.
Or frightened.
Frightened.
Yeah.
Good point. About being required to give up a day at work, a day at home,
Or
or a
more.
week.
Right.
Correct. And then leave after going through
Right.
at least the initial process, having a really good feeling about the criminal justice system, at least how it operates in this county.
Right.
That it's
Yeah,
nice
very
to be
gratifying,
able to
yeah.
explain
Right.
why it's so important they're there.
Yeah.
And to let them know how the process is going. For example, jury selection. No one knows how jurors are selected and how they're not. They don't know the intricacies
formula.
of that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And it's really quite simple.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they simply don't know. And we would use that process, Paul as the commissioner of jurors, and then I would do the jury selection itself to educate them. And it was simply amazing and so impressive how many jurors actually, I could even say, enjoyed the experience.
Yeah. No, it's look, it's one of our constitutional blessings, I guess, or maybe not constitutional, but it's the way the legal system is set up, and a lot of people are, I think, like they oh my gosh, you got a jury notice, and they but when they go there and experience it, it maybe flips their mind, changes their mind. You were asking about the workforce situation in the county, and there's still a workforce shortage of epic proportion,
Meaning there are jobs that are available and not
several jobs. Several. I mean, it's everything from administrative to financial, bookkeepers, secretaries, warehouse.
Is that also at the county and state level, state employees?
Pretty much. Pretty much. And it's primarily due to two factors. One is the federal unemployment. Federal unemployment insurance is on top of New York State. New York State is $505 a week.
It is?
Yes, it is. And federal is $300 on a 40-hour work week. That gives you $20 an hour. And you can sit home and eat bonbons and not work for $800 a week.
That program is still in effect?
Still in effect until September 6th or 7th, yeah. So, and look, I think it was important in the first phase of the pandemic when there were massive layoffs. I mean, we laid off 75% of our workforce in 2020.
Correct.
And then it was $600, and that was very necessary back in those times. But now when the economy is ready to go and there's restaurants, you can look anywhere you look, there's pretty much help wanted signs out there. And companies are calling us 2-3 times a week, not same companies, different companies, asking. Our tourism companies are struggling mightily. Got a call from one of them. I can have you as a bartender, 8 or 10. Places look for.
Be careful what you ask for, because my first goal was marine biologist.
Yeah.
Second was lawyer, judge. I always wanted. third, tending bar, just because
Yeah, you'd make a great bartender because you can tell a good story, you can listen, and you can have a good kind of back and forth. You got a broad span of knowledge, so you'd make an outstanding bartender.
Why don't we open up a bar?
Okay, good idea.
I know we have one guest.
The first story you could tell is that one you told at dinner that one night. Was that the drunk driver one?
Oh,
Which story was
I don't know, but that was
it at
hilarious.
Kennard?
I don't
Was that
know,
at
but
Kennard?
what was it called? I forget. Remember the guy with the excuses?
Oh, I gave a speech at the White Eagle Benevolent Association for Palm Sunday, and I gave the 10 explanations one never should give to a police officer if you're stopped operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated. And the one that you guys liked, when the officer stops you, asks you for license and registration, and says, "Your eyes are bloodshot. Have you been drinking?" Your response should not be, "Your eyes are glazed. Have you been eating donuts?" That is not what I would recommend to anyone.
man. That's a good one.
I think that is the one.
Yeah. Anyway, so that ends September 6th. So the smart people now are coming off unemployment, getting a job now because rates have gone up. Instead of paying 13, 14, 15 an hour, employers are now paying 15, 16, 17, and approaching 20 in many cases, and over 20 to get people back to the workforce.
What type of jobs are they paying $20 an hour for? And
how can manufacturing? A lot of assembly jobs now.
Any
certain
benefits
like
from these?
Yes, I mean people are eligible for benefits. They come through our company as kind of a temp. You stay there for a few months and show that there's a good match on both sides,
Right.
and then company hires you and you have benefits from that point. Not typically with our company right off the bat, but we do get some benefits.
Tony, how does your, obviously everyone that's in business, you must pay the bills.
Right.
Who pays for your services? Is it
Right,
the
so-
business? Is it the...
Yeah, it's the business. The candidate pays zero. It's the business, and we agree upon an hourly rate. Just for easy math, let's just use $20 an hour. We pay all the statutory benefits, which is unemployment, workers' comp, Social Security, New York State disability. We pay those.
Wow.
And then we charge an overhead and profit markup. Every staffing company does it. That's our product, so we have cost, and then we add a profit margin, which is what every business in the planet does, right? You can't be in business unless you make a... Yeah,
you have to
those
live
that don't.
also.
Right.
Sure.
So then the employer pays that hourly rate plus the statutory benefits plus an overhead and profit markup, and usually it's in the area of 50 to, depending on the workers' comp costs, because those are significantly high for certain positions. Could be, let's say, 50% for this example. So the employer is paying us $30 an hour, and we're paying the statutory benefits and the person's salary, and we keep the difference. The difference is what...
Do you then get the tax benefits of paying workers' comp that the business would normally... Okay.
Yeah, we have
Because otherwise, those fees are significant.
Oh, they're significant, especially for,
in New York State especially.
And in healthcare, they're pretty high because, people are bending, stooping, lifting, patients that are pretty heavy. And if you're in a maintenance or using power tools or up a ladder, the comp costs are pretty high. Significantly high.
If you're up on a ladder, it's outrageous.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy.
Liabilities.
Yeah, I mean, it's my whole career in healthcare, pretty much we used temporary services or employment agencies, and I bought the business in 2014 and found myself on the other side of the table, selling to employers when I was the buyer previously. So it gave me a good insight, and I knew the pressures that the companies are under, because I wasn't under the same pressures to staff a nursing home or a hospital, and but I like the fact now that we're dealing with banks, and we have our company deals with only about I'll say 25% of our business is healthcare now. Used to be a lot more.
25%, and it
nursing
was
homes
more?
and
Okay.
yeah, it was more. So, and direct care workers, in group homes, we staff those too, and so it's challenging. But I enjoy going to places that are unusual, different. Some of the manufacturers, that have some. I won't name names, but they're manufacturing robotics. They're putting, and it's really super cool
amazing.
to watch. It is amazing. So, yeah, I mean, it's look.
The unfortunate part of that, it's taking another individual's place.
Well, that's true. That's true. But it is
That's
keeping
where it's
people
going,
gainfully.
sure.
It seems like it. But it's look, besides our personal lives, and in some cases it's beyond our personal lives. Our work is our kind of what drives us. I mean, work relationships, the being in the right job is so it's kind of satisfying, to me, and our staff at Norman to put people in the right job. And but I have to tell you, Don, with the pandemic on top of normal life stressors and job stressors, it's really made a lot of crazy people out there. I'm sorry. I mean, people are just beyond at breaking points at some level,
And you think it's because of COVID?
I think it's the layer that came with
There must
that.
have to be some underlying theme there.
Well, yeah, I think it was partially the lack of the norm, and having to adjust. People don't like change.
No, they do not.
And so when you have to have a totally different environment and mask, no masks, 6 feet, 3 feet, no feet, it stresses people, in my opinion. And we see it on the roads, you see it in stores. I just walked up with a couple of little examples of employers that are, businesses that are enforcing masks rules still, and, customers maybe like it, maybe don't like it. But, yeah, I mean, look, to me, personal lives and work lives, if you're fortunate enough to be in a great personal life situation or a great workplace situation, everything is beautiful. If you're in stressed personal life or stressed work life and add pandemic over top of that, it just geometrically changes somebody. It has. I just think it has.
And I think you're right, and that's probably true in so many areas. But this was obviously an area that we'd never experienced in any fashion, other than the only thing that would be comparable would be September 11th, I guess.
I think, yeah. Maybe living, and none of us were, at least in this room and in that room, living through like World War II, when this country had to significantly change.
It's so funny you say that, because I think, and we can talk forever about what they're teaching in schools nowadays. Mm-hmm. That's an entirely different issue.
That's the next show.
God. Anyway, but have you ever seen the series Band of Brothers? I mean, our kids.
Yeah.
To some respect,
was it a movie? Was it a
Band
series?
of Brothers is
a
series about World War II. And it's done wonderfully. The acting is great. But my son, I made my son sit with me and watch it at a young age, because he had no idea what his grandfather
went through. Yep.
He was, I know we've spoken about it, precursor to Navy SEAL. He was a frogman in World War II.
Right.
And we just, including our generation, Tony, we just really do not know the incredible sacrifices that generation. Is it not called the greatest generation?
Yeah.
But it's you should honestly watch a bit of that series. The acting is wonderful, and it's.
But I'm talking to I get the sacrifice that all those men and women made. I'm talking about the domestic product that what was going on in the U.S. for those 2 or 3 years that we were involved in World War II. I mean, everything was rationing going on. It's, war production stuff, and you can't do this, and, certain things were not available because they needed to be put into the war machinery. So people's lives are altered pretty significantly during that time. And so I don't know what else is close to this one in terms of what, I was reading an article. By the way, I see you have some stuff there. Is that
You know
good?
how funny. I was wondering when you would
Yeah,
ask it.
I'm looking
It is
at
completely
graphs and-
unrelated
Yeah.
at all. But as you have to remember, I was a prosecutor and a judge for
Right.
40 years. I don't go any
Right.
place without being
Stuff.
prepared.
I know. One last comment, and then we'll get back. I want to get to this, whatever that is, the bars. No, let's do it. I just read, I'm very involved in Rotary International. I just found an article in the Rotary website on the Rotary, how Rotary responded during the Spanish influenza, the 1918 pandemic, where 500 million people were infected worldwide, and 50 million people died. 50 million. So our numbers for
Was
this
that 1918?
1918 to roughly 1920, about a year and a half, just
World
like this
War
one.
One was
World War
what,
One was just about
17?
finished,
Finished
right?
in
And
1917.
they thought the Spanish flu came from the military.
Never studied that.
Yeah, it's an interesting comparison, really, between this one and that one. Obviously, the technology was not there, but you'll see very similar public health rules and regulations even back then. But yeah, I mean, this is unprecedented. Hopefully, never happen again. What do you got there? Let's shift gears.
I'm not quite sure that that's any of your business. I'm looking at looking at my mortgage rates.
Yeah, but I see that they're all
No.
they're all up there.
I know that
what's the
issues
topic?
were coming up
Okay.
in the past, not now necessarily,
we have
about
10
gun
minutes.
violence.
About gun violence. Let's talk about it.
And
Let's go, man.
It's an interesting, and also
Which is
quite
taken off,
dangerous.
right? Yes or
Well,
no?
it depends. Chicago.
Right.
We touched on this. I think you were here some time ago when one of the local Kingston council people
Right.
was putting forth or asking for money to start a program that dealt with handling violent crime and
Right.
gun violence, which has become quite significant
Prevalent. Right.
in Kingston. And they were using a program. They were modeling the program after what is occurring in Chicago, what they've done in the past. And it was when I was on with Hugh Reynolds and I believe
Oh, right. Mario. Yes.
And
Yep.
they both said, well, what a great city to model a program on
Chicago,
gun
where the
violence,
mafia
which is
came from.
Not just the mafia. They have the highest rate of violent crime anywhere. So maybe they should know, but they're not doing much to control it. So, I looked at some numbers and
So what's the?
well, this is
inside?
one of the things that
What's
deals
driving
with
it?
statistics.
Yeah.
What is driving gun violence, in my opinion, you have to remember there are some things in criminal justice I'm progressive about, some that I'm conservative. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the Second Amendment. So maybe I have now prejudged this since I'm no longer on the bench, but it's certainly not the legal possession of handguns. It simply is not the
So these
legal
are
possession of handguns. Now,
Outright criminals who have acquired handguns.
they
It's
did
part
some,
of their
some studies were done.
part of their makeup.
Here, for example, and there aren't enough studies about this to begin with. I Googled this about a month ago and just found this stuff sitting in my printer this morning.
Oh, great.
Yeah. It goes to show you how often I use my printer.
Yeah.
But research done in two different areas, one at the University of Chicago. This is back in 2015. And they looked at 99 inmates at Cook County Jail and found 3% of the inmates who used a gun
That's three
in
people.
the commission of the crime, 3 people out of 99. 3 of those individuals had purchased it legally or came about it in legal fashion.
3 out of 100.
3 out of 100. So that tells me roughly, my math was never very
Yeah,
good, that's why I
sure.
went to law school. But that tells me 97 out of 100 had those guns illegally.
Yeah.
So that alone.
Which means would that mean they're part of a gang or part of, why would someone have an illegal gun? I mean, if you want a gun, go get a gun legally, and there's a process for that, and if you
Well, that
why would you not get a
and
legal gun?
The same thing, very similar statistics found at the University of Pittsburgh. Same type of statistics. So to begin with, whenever there's a crime of gun violence, immediately the politicians say there are too many guns.
Right.
And that may be so.
Right.
But it is also a constitutional right in our country.
Right.
The real problem is, why are people committing violent crime?
So many of them.
How are these people getting these guns illegally, and what are we doing about that?
Well, isn't part of the argument, though, that the semi-automatic or automatic nature? It's a whole
I was
different,
about to go. That's completely
that's
different.
A whole, yeah.
I truly believe, when it comes to handguns, that they must be strictly regulated. I also believe, and this would put me in opposition with some members with the NRA, that fully automatic weapons, I can maybe understand that there would be an interest if somebody served in World War II, that they want that as a collection piece, but to have a fully automatic weapon is troubling to me.
For military
The problem
purposes,
is many weapons, many rifles are designed to look like AK-47s, which is in use fully automatic, but the ones that they have are semi-automatic. There's a huge difference between an automatic weapon and a semi-automatic weapon. The basic difference is that on a fully automatic weapon, you pull the trigger and it keeps firing.
Until it has no more ammunition.
Semi-automatic weapon fires only by pulling the trigger each time.
Right.
And then the other type of rifle would be a bolt action.
Yeah, right.
People that are proficient in bolt action can fire them quickly.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
I was just about to say Lee Harvey Oswald, unless you believe there was a shooter behind the
grassy knoll, right.
But we have to stop allowing politicians to seize on sound bites and seize upon our emotions and divide us. Instead, let's look at the underlying cause. And to me, the underlying cause, depending upon what area of the country you're talking about, but the underlying cause for that type of violent crime, lack of family, the family units
Social
for the
structure,
crimes, social structures not there, guidance, especially parental guidance from fathers.
Right.
Doesn't exist in many occasions.
They're certainly not looking for jobs. They're looking for a way to make easy money.
Easy money. And secondly is the economy. Not the economy generally, but people need jobs, people need to make money, and people have to have a motivation to work.
Yeah.
So bringing people in for minimum, here's the progressive part.
Right.
You can't live on minimum wage.
$12.50.
You can't. How is anybody going to live on $12.50, especially in this county where you can't find any affordable housing? It can't be done.
Correct.
So something has to be done about the minimum wage. Something has to be done in those communities, especially where crime is rampant, violent crime. To motivate people to get them out of that. One way is increase minimum wage. Now, double minimum wage, that's going to have a dramatic impact on small businesses.
Right.
So instead of taking all of my tax dollars and, damn it, in New York State, they're taking a lot of taxes federally in New York State and using it on programs that do not exist, use it instead to help local business people that can cover the loss of increasing minimum wage. Oversimplification of a very complex problem, but the simple reality is, then we start looking at the percentage of murders in the United States by state, percentage of murders. One of the highest states, there's a shock, Illinois is third. They have their gun regulation in Illinois is as tough as ours. Delaware, which has one of the highest rates of percentage of murder. They're number 5 on this list, and yet their regulations are strict.
Yeah,
So
it's all
regulation
illegal.
should be strict. We have to look at the underlying cause, the underlying root.
Yeah, got it. Okay. We're going to have to do that, though, next show because we got to go to break.
You think I have more?
We have Kevin Gilfeather here with Kingston Lions. Lawrence, take it away, and we'll be right after the break.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Central Hudson reminds you that summer thunderstorms can strike with strong, gusty winds, knocking down trees and power lines. If you see a downed power line, call 911 immediately to report it. Power lines can carry an electric current strong enough to cause injury or death. Stay at least 30 feet away from a fallen line. Don't try to move it or anything that has come in contact with it. And never drive over a power line. Remember, your safety matters.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His parents could only hope that one day he would leave the hospital healthy, and they would all live happily ever after. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year. You can help the March of Dimes stop premature birth and bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
So I can't hang out too long. All right, folks, we're back on. This is Thunder Thursday. Here we go.
You are?
I am Tony Marmo.
And I'm Donald Williams. We've got a great guest. Somebody we both go back a long time with.
Yes.
You're the host here.
Yeah, I am the host.
And we introduce our guest.
I am Kevin Gilfeather.
He jumps right in, doesn't he?
He's on the bench. He's on the bench.
I'm his sidekick.
No, we mentioned Kevin prior to the break, and welcome back to the show. I know it seems like it's been a little bit of time since you've been here. What's been going on?
Well,
traveling, not traveling?
Doing that, and I'm going to be traveling again tomorrow morning. We're going to down to our son and daughter-in-laws down in Baltimore, and then our daughter and her husband and our 2 grandsons they've been out camping this week in Western Maryland.
Oh, cool.
So they're going to come up and join us, and we'll have a nice Father's Day. And
nice.
Unfortunately, our youngest, we won't see him until August, it looks like. So.
And where is he? Where is he located?
He works at Florida State University. He's an athletic trainer.
Okay, nice.
At the university, and
he
loves the warm weather.
Yeah,
so.
Right.
Florida State. How big is that campus?
It's huge. We've
Bigger
been
than
there.
the city of Kingston, isn't it?
Probably. Where is it located again?
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
Oh, what a nice area of Florida, too.
Yeah.
Boy, that's such a huge
Yeah.
sports program. Good
Right.
for him.
Yeah.
How did he end up there?
Well, he did his undergrad at Southern Connecticut,
Okay.
and then he said, "Hey, I think I'm going to go for my master's." And I said, "Oh, okay." And then that was at the University of Toledo in Ohio. And then he had a couple of internships. He worked at a place called IMG Academy down in Florida, where a lot of tennis. That's how it initially started with
tennis, right?
With tennis, I think. What's his name? Andre Agassi was a.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's an instructor there.
And he started his playing career there, and that the academy just blossomed and mushroomed, and it is just unbelievable. I was fortunate enough to go down there when Dan was doing a summer internship there, and it really is something else. So, and then once he graduated, he applied at different spots, and he actually, we were kind of worried because he hadn't heard anything. Here it was the beginning of August after he finished his master's, and said, "All right, what's the next step here?"
Sure.
And he had 3 offers within a week.
Is that right?
That's great.
That in the area of physical therapy apparently is huge. My court attorney, John Prizzia's daughter, has now got a doctorate.
Right? No. Noah is the youngest one.
Oh, I can't believe I've had a senior moment. I can't remember. But she...
We've all had those,
Judge.
right?
It happens. I think, so...
I thought that was normally after my second bourbon Manhattan in my house. But unbelievable that you graduate with that, and the job opportunities in that area are incredible.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So how's the Lions Foundation doing and the Lions Club? What's going on with
we're good. We're trying to help non-for-profits, 501c3s. We recently approved an award for the Friends of the Forsyth Nature Center. They're going to be renovating and expanding, putting new gates on the facility.
Okay.
And that's what we supported. We provided them with an award for that. We also
It's a great place.
It is.
They still have the bear there. They used to have a bear.
No, that's how it all began. Betty the Bear. No,
It was out in center field on the minor league ballpark. I remember. And Betty the bear.
No, not any longer.
No, unfortunately.
Probably.
They still have the ostriches that spit at you. Oh no, that's the
llamas.
Llamas. The llamas. Yeah.
I think a lot of those animals have passed away, Don, that you've probably
Really?
remember.
I remember the peacocks. They would scream in the
Oh
middle
yeah,
of the night.
they're still there, still
there.
beautiful. And
What a great place.
Yeah. The nature
yeah,
center.
it's really become a terrific educational facility for the community, and obviously, in my tenure with the Parks and Recreation Department, what Mark did and what the staff did up there with school programs, with summer programs, it's a terrific place, and you get people coming from, Albany and as
'cause
far down to Westchester County. It's
There's not many of these left in cities, right? I mean, I would
no,
think it's very
and especially at the price that people
Small
have to pay to get in. It's
Yeah.
since it's zero
You
entrance
should go
fee.
like to the Bronx Zoo.
A
that's
bit of a bigger area
bigger
than the
area.
city of Kingston.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's like any of the small cities up and down the Hudson River. I don't think there's like Newburgh doesn't have a zoo.
Well, they do. But it's not
Exactly.
necessarily there, and they do have animals.
Yeah, a little bit of a mess. Poughkeepsie probably the same way. Hudson. I mean, there's no Tarrytown. If you go down, we just spent the day on Tuesday, this is the last Tuesday in Nyack, which is a beautiful river city town.
It's gorgeous.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
it's right on there, and
Not an inexpensive place.
not
to
an
live.
inexpensive place. No, I bought a $22 coffee mug.
Did it say Nyack on there? Did it say
It said,
Tony's
you're an
20
idiot for buying this $22 coffee mug. That's what it's.
Thank you for shopping.
Right. Yeah, it had a mirror on it, like stupid. Look in the mirror.
I take it it's a nice one. And you
No,
didn't
I
bring
mean,
it this morning?
I got it for a friend up in Rotary that I can't say what's on there, the saying. It was, but
So
it was
next Christmas, I could be expecting a
$22 coffee.
He bought a case of them, so he gave them out to family and friends.
That had a full-length mirror.
I need to use my line of credit from the business to pay for it.
That's amazing. So I didn't know Lions did that.
Well, the foundation. See, we have a separate foundation from the club.
All right.
Obviously, what members we have are all part of one bigger package.
Organization, right.
The foundation began.
Would that be like the Boy Scouts Foundation, where people would contribute? For example, you would inherit part.
What it was, Don, is that the Lions Club used to have a building on East Chester Street. I think it was East Chester Street, and they sold that back in the late 70s, early 80s, and so that was the seed money. That was the corpus of the.
Great.
And with the intent of serving City of Kingston or Kingston community non-for-profits, to help them with something that was not everyday expenses, but something that that had to be set in stone. It was, I don't want to say set in stone, but essentially set in stone. Okay. So we've helped Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA. I could look and see the list go on and on, but it's a lot of not-for-profits.
That's great.
And People's Place.
How does the foundation continue on? Are there people? Is it
Well,
just
we essentially
grant
work.
monies.
We work off. We have our interest from the corpus, and then as we've been fortunate. I'll say fortunate that people, when they've passed on, they've decided to
make an estate gift.
Yes.
Make a gift.
That's what it's called. There's actually a term for that. I can't recall it, but that is how many of these organizations survive from estate gifts.
Yeah. So that is, that's how we've done it. And one of the other things we just recently have proved for the second year in a row is a $10,000 gift to the Lions Eye Institute in Albany.
Oh, nice.
And it, that money goes up to the eye bank up in Albany, and it helps serve those who cannot get.
Don't have the means.
Don't have the means for exams and for procedures, and essentially for glasses.
Right. Gift of sight. Right.
Yeah.
That's
So you guys accept frames that have been used before? People do.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I have so many frames that I cannot use anymore because I had the cataract surgery. So
right. Yeah.
But we use glasses. In fact, I just had an email from Lawrence the other day saying that for those who go to pick up spots within the city, to bring them in, and he's going to give them to the district governor for the end of the month, I think is.
I'll ask Lawrence because there's several I have hanging around.
I mean, for years there was a Lions box in the Kingston Hospital vestibule. Right, when we put the addition, after we put the addition on 85, I can remember that, just walking out, and then there's the Lions box, and people use that, for glasses, eyeglasses, just chuck them in there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, are they still around?
They are. There's
at the hospital?
Yeah, we just collected on Monday night. We just got Park Optical, which was.
Oh yeah,
that's. They gave me 3 garbage bags full of.
No kidding.
Glasses. Wow. As a matter of fact, Kevin, did you get the email that I sent yesterday?
That's what I was just saying.
So 2 weeks from yesterday, we're making the run to Albany, and that's pretty much the last one until December.
That's great.
But we get credit as a club. They go as service club awards.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, 3 huge bags. That's quite a gift.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
If there's one there's a box. I believe it's still in City Hall. There's one at the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union on Morton Boulevard. In fact, the person at the desk, when I go in, she'll say, "Oh, Kevin, I have a bag of glasses for you." So,
There you go. So you can.
Yeah.
Find a
Well, I
home.
was thinking, well, where's the local debtor's prison? That's the place that I would be visiting most frequently. But anyway, still paying off my student loan from. No, I'm not.
No, come on.
My
come on.
kids'
It's a few-
student
Yeah,
loans.
the kids' students loan, yeah. So, Parks and Rec, I know you're not there anymore, but I know you probably, either go by or, participate, or any thoughts about the state
Well,
of?
fortunately for them, they, this year, they're able to have a summer program.
Yeah.
Although I believe it's a little bit reduced in size, and if I'm wrong, I apologize to the staff there.
Yeah.
They were supposed to start their summer softball last week, but
Okay.
something called a lot of rain got in the
Yeah,
way of
yeah.
outdoor activities.
What ballparks do they do that?
Block Park
Block
and
Park.
at the
I
Point.
saw some activity at Block Park.
Numbers are, I think all over the place numbers, well, not because of COVID, just generally because people are not joiners anymore, they're not participating in a lot of softball leagues, and I know bowling, Leanne was saying bowling numbers were down. That was probably because of COVID, though, but this
Yeah,
last year,
yeah.
but still, I think people are just joining less, participating less, and more focused on themselves and whatever. I mean, I think, is that a trend that you both are seeing, or, in
I
terms
think
of?
people, because of COVID, everyone
Yeah.
retreated into their own homes and their own family life.
Right.
It's going to take a while for everybody to get
Yeah.
back out and feel comfortable. Sports,
Yeah.
it's an activity that takes people being close together. So,
Obviously, I think that the year break, essentially the year break, has, as you
Helped, you think, or?
Well, I think people did start doing different things. They realized as they always were so set in their ways of,
Yeah.
all right, in
Springtime,
October
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
do
do
this.
this,
Yeah,
and then
gonna
in
join it, blah, blah, blah.
May I'm going to do this,
Right.
and in July I'm going to do this. And I think people changed their way of, which is not bad at all. Will it have an effect on different activities with different organizations? I can only see it doing so. And in fact, I have a friend of mine who lives around the corner who is an employee at Ulster Savings, and he was an umpire in the men's and women's softball league, as well as a board member, as well as a player. And I ran into him, and he said, "Kevin,
up?
guess what?" I said, "Oh, would you? I'm not on the board anymore." I said, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "I'm not umpiring anymore." I said, "You got to be kidding." He says, "And I'm not playing." He says, "No, it's just the last year was just a wake up for me." And he had put himself, he'd gotten a little heavier, and he
Right.
wanted to
Well-
concentrate on himself and his family. His
Yeah,
kids
well, that
are
makes
in
some sense. That
are
one I-
at that stage in life where they're, he wants to be able to see them and coach them, and
Yeah.
whether it's soccer or baseball or softball, and so I think that he's one.
Yeah, but there's a lot of
there's-
examples like that, I think.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are.
Well, the programs run through the local Recs department, RMA. I remember helped me get through college and law school, the National Junior Tennis
Yeah,
League.
it's funny, Ron Wood still talks about you, Don.
Ron Woods is one of the greatest
Yeah.
greatest people. Ron was I think at the time, the chairman. I'm going back to the 70s. He was the chairman of the Kingston Liberal Party. The Liberal Party consisted of 4 people.
I think he still is.
But how things have changed.
Yeah.
Ron was just a great person, gave so much
Yeah.
to everybody, and I never touched a tennis racket in my life. Played basketball and baseball. And Ron,
Made
my
you into a
senior
pretty
year
decent
in high school,
tennis player.
said, "You should play tennis." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Do you want to go through college and make some money?" So then I took over for Rob Klein with the National Junior Tennis League, which was just a great free lessons for anywhere in the city of Kingston. And
Interesting.
it was great. And Ron was tremendous. But the programs that the rec department has done, they're tremendous. They really are.
Yeah.
Well, I was certainly proud to, in my 23 and a half years of what we were able to offer to the community, and whether it was tennis or youth basketball or adult sports or senior exercise programs and trips, and what our staff really worked hard at to provide to the community. And, I was very fortunate to work with a lot of great people.
In sports, at least sports in those days, here I am with get off my lawn. Is that what the...
Get off my cloud?
Get off my... No, the lawn isn't... As we get older, isn't that the older people say, get off my lawn?
Yeah.
But it teaches teamwork and sacrifice. It did, and humility. What do you think about the way sports are now, which is completely the opposite? It's all about look at me, and it's sad.
But that's maybe at the professional level. At the local level, I think, aren't they still kind of team focused?
The problem is kids, especially.
Yeah, they
watch the
Ron
local,
James and blah blah blah.
They watch this, and then they pattern their own lives after it. Which are you seeing that with young people in sports?
Well, I'll be honest with you.
You've been out of it now, right?
Well, and plus I haven't been over to a Little League game over at the Kingston American Little League field in a while. We hear the people cheering, which is always wonderful.
That's great.
And that's really what it is about, to support and encourage young players, whether it's soccer or lacrosse or basketball or baseball, whatever it may be, softball, that to encourage their accomplishments. It may not be that they win the 100-meter freestyle event, but it may mean that they get on base, or they make a nice play in the field, or they grab a rebound, or make a nice pass, in soccer or lacrosse.
They're competing. Aggressively. It's a life lesson.
Yeah.
But at least back then, you were taught about sacrifice and humility and teamwork. Yeah. You definitely don't see it at the pro level, and we did emulate.
Yes.
The people that we saw at the pro level. It's that's why I now, although I never played this sport in my life, I love to watch these hockey players.
Oh yeah.
They beat the hell out of each other
legally, right?
And afterwards, legally. Then afterwards, especially during the Stanley Cup, it is tough.
Intense. It's intense.
You get hit with a puck in the face or a stick. They go back. There used to be they stitched them up on the bench. Now they go back to the locker room and they come back out and they play. It's amazing. Yet, after they're done with a game and they're all bruised or bloody, they come out and they're interviewed. They're articulate. They're bright. They can say a full sentence without using certain terms. It just is what an impressive sport that I never played. So.
Hockey.
Did you play hockey?
I didn't. No.
Kevin?
Skated. Didn't.
Italians really don't take to skating. I don't know, for some reason.
You know something I did? I did a lot of sports that came naturally for me. I could not skate. I couldn't skate for beans. It was just, and my feet killed me every time I tried to do that. But interesting stuff.
Yeah. Curious, about sports and how the pandemic, affected it. We know that, but how it's going to come back. How do we see, especially youth sports? I get concerned about it because, like as you're saying, it is fundamental, foundational stuff. Part of growing up, part of playing with others, a team, having a common goal, focus, an individual sport versus a team sport. Tennis, unless you're playing doubles, versus basketball or baseball, where there's 9 of us or 5 of us or 11 of us, and those are some great life lessons. I mean,
truly are.
So I hope we don't, as a society, get away from that. So I don't know. I worry.
Yeah, you certainly hope that as much as people have been able to find different avenues to be entertained, that and I guess I'm speaking more personally than I am anything else, but it was just a great part of my young life and my brothers and sisters and our own children and friends of ours too. That's how you meet different people. One of the things that
absolutely you meet people from all walks of life. You have the basketball teams I played on.
Right.
You were playing with people from every
ethnic
race, economic background, and you were playing with them as teammates.
Right.
You had their back, they had your back.
And that's the great thing that, when my former colleague who retired before I did, Rob Dassey, who was great at getting our youth basketball program organized and getting the teams. And one of the things that we discussed was that we want to make sure that we have diversity on every single team. And one of the things that the Lions Club itself sponsored one of the teams, one of the 8 to 10-year-old teams, and it was something that I made a point to make sure that the kids understood. And you're representing yourselves, your family.
Right.
You're also representing the Lions Club, and we believe in not everybody's going to be the same, but everybody can help each other.
Right.
And it's amazing after a while how the kids, and I think that fortunately they had the support of their families, that they realized that you can give a high five to somebody who is not the same as you.
Color.
Exactly.
And somebody who may be from Hispanic or Asian or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But it was just a great thing to see that one of the things I'm proud of, that I had the opportunity to be with great volunteers, great leaders, supporters of the program, different businesses and organizations that supported, and just to see that goodness happen.
Yeah,
And,
I think, hopefully it's back. Kevin, do you mind if we read a couple of quick announcements
No,
here?
please
'Cause,
do.
and then we also have birthdays. Judge, you want to read that one?
Since you passed it to me and
Yeah,
you gave me
that
the
was
eye
the-
that
that
I
was
had
the-
to, but it would be a pleasure to read this one, boss.
That's okay.
This is the Father's Day all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet that's being put out by the VFW. It includes hot all-you-can-eat.
Say you're going to go.
I may not, but I know Alan DeForest, my close friend, he could clean them out in one morning. Anyway, it includes hot and cold drinks, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., and takeout is Alan, these people, they're not going to make any money on this. Between eating there and take home, Alan will kill them. But it's at the VFW, Post 5034 Osorgetes, New York. American Legion Hall, 30 John Street. American Legion Hall, 30 John Street. It must be June 20th, Father's Day,
Must
8
be.
to 11.
That's this Sunday coming. And I have, I guess, now that the governor, not the Lions governor or the Rotary governor, announced the immediate removal of COVID-19 protocols and restrictions for nearly all activities and industries, including outdoor sports and entertainment venues, Saratoga Racetrack is going to be open again, Lawrence.
Sweet.
That's good news. It's going to start, this says open July 15th. Is that?
It is. I'm actually going on the 23rd with Brian.
Nice.
From La Canard.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, he's driving, so it should be.
Yeah, so that's good news, Saratoga Racetrack. I mean, we're getting there. We're slowly getting back to normal.
Does it say 100% on that, Tony?
Yes, it's
does?
open at 100% capacity this summer. Correct.
So that way if you're
COVID-19
losing at the
protocols
ponies, you can always
lifted.
go to the slot machines.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not a big gambler, but
Yeah.
but the flats, Saratoga is interesting.
Oh, well, it's
Is
just
it
a
is it
social
the flats
experience.
again?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
flats.
Oh,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Great.
Yep, absolutely. So that's good news. It's good to see events, Lawrence, in the folder, right?
It is.
It's,
That folder's been
kinda getting
MIA
back
for
there.
almost a year now.
I haven't, first I've seen anything like that
Yeah.
since.
You want to go ahead and is there a birthday in there? Yesterday there wasn't
Yeah,
one
but
when
I don't,
left.
will we get in trouble if people?
No, you can do it right now because there wasn't any until last night at like 6 o'clock, so.
All right, well, Judge, you want to read, why don't we have Kevin read one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a
have
great
Kevin
idea.
read Kevin does the birthday today.
Thank you so
We're
much, Kevin.
overcrowded.
You know, you have to go slow for me this morning.
Yeah. All right, Kevin.
Today is my birthday. My name is Jeffrey Turner. And I'd love to win a cow pie.
There you go.
So apparently, and I typed back to Jeff.
My
and said,
vote's for
"Listen, you
Jeff."
got to give it me a couple of weeks heads up,
Right.
to win one." I had no idea that there was no winner
Yeah.
yesterday when he sent that email. So
All right, well,
happy birthday, Jeff.
Guess what?
What?
Jeffrey Turner wins the cow pie. Can you imagine?
He is one lucky man.
He really wanted one, too.
His next email is, I would like to win $1 million on the lottery. Okay.
Well, Jeff, there are going to be other applicants.
That's Saratoga. Where's our little bell? Here it is.
They're
practicing for Saratoga. That's the winner of today's delicious cow pie from Boy's Dairy Milk House at 62 O'Neill Street in Kingston, Jeffrey Turner. All right, Jeffrey, enjoy that. But I'm not sure one person can eat a whole cow pie.
He's going to have to share that thing.
Those are huge.
How I look forward to this every month.
Massive calories.
He's saying, oh, man, I wish I had taken the ibuprofen earlier. This is painful. This is painful.
Yeah, no, ibuprofen wouldn't help.
Wouldn't help. Medical marijuana. Need marijuana anymore. We're not going to go down that path. So Kevin Gilfeather, Kingston Lions Club Foundation, thank you for the support of KCR. Thanks for all the other community support you have out there. It's amazing, and service clubs are great. People should consider joining service clubs. Speaking about joining.
Yeah, and just quickly, I know that we have to get off the air here, but with our Lions Club Foundation, a thought is, and maybe you and I and Bill Calderera and some others, some other service organizations, we could provide some seed money maybe to do a community-wide service club type of event, golf tournament.
Yeah.
And
it's a good idea.
That way then each of the organizations could have some money to support
we're going to
other.
do that. I was actually talking to Al Tietzel. He's from Kiwanis, maybe?
Yes. Yep.
So talking about, because it used to be the Lions Club, the Rotary Club, and the Kiwanis would have all service club luncheon.
Right.
We might be able to get a good guest speaker like retired Judge Don Williams to talk about.
Come off the bench
and give us some.
Frequently, I would come off the bench.
Peek under the covers and say what
No.
An expose.
Oh,
All right, let's go to break. Quickly. Thanks.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here. And it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
Hi, this is Jim Quigley, supervisor of the town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
Rondout Savings Bank has a long history of serving local communities and maintaining a strong tradition of customer service excellence while providing each customer with the personal attention they deserve. Rondout Savings' approach to community banking puts you and the growth of your business in the front of everything they do. They're a different kind of bank and would like to tell you why, so please reach out to one of their expert business bankers for an appointment and let them show you what they can do for you. Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you and the community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park. Also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Okay, folks, we're back. This is Thunder Thursday, baby. When we got the thunder today, we do. We're bringing it.
You guys
Judge.
are so lucky.
Judge.
Once a month I have to.
And I love him. This is Tony Marmo.
And Donald Williams.
Okay.
How are you today, Tony?
I'm doing fantastic. What a great group we have here with us. This is amazing. So we're going to let, I think, maybe John Milgrim start off just introducing the topic and introduce our guests. And I'm going to take a few pictures. This is being streamed live on YouTube right now, and it'll be up on YouTube probably by tomorrow. So if you want to take a look. So why don't we start, John Milgrim?
Super. Hi. Yeah, I'm John Milgrim. I'm a Deputy County Executive and a proud parent of a KHS senior.
Yay.
With Tony, you invited me. We've been working over the past few weeks in our spare time to put together a pretty amazing event for next Friday night, right after graduation. It got difficult. Another parent was saying, hey, these kids have no prom. They didn't have a junior prom. They've actually never been together as a class all year. They've been in and out of school, quarantined. And I'm like, well, let's do something. If we pull a bunch of people together, I'll make a few calls. You can make a few calls. And actually, it happened rather quick. We've been raising some funds. We've been gathering some friends and supporters, and this support has been absolutely phenomenal.
This is Kingston High School.
Kingston High School, right, the senior class. And so next Friday, we are doing a huge party down at Kingston Point for all the seniors' family and friends. We're going to have a tremendous fireworks display right on the Hudson River for the kids. We're going to have food trucks. We've got a DJ.
How are you getting the fireworks?
Oh, well, that's...
Hold on. We're on radio, John. How do you get the fireworks? He's my boss in life.
Actually, it's kind of it's a magic miracle. For last year, too, the county did fireworks, and it was pulled together really quick. But this year, Derek and John and Bosch and Keegan, they wanted to do something great for the kids. They were like, hey, we'd really like to do something big for the seniors. Do you know of anything going on? I'm like, well, we're kind of quietly putting something together. And they're like, well, we'd like to be a part of it. And man, they came together in a big way. That firm is just supportive of the community. And got all these businesses have come together.
That's great. Let's go around and introduce so everyone knows who everyone is.
Okay. I'm Riley Waddell. I'm just in the class of 2021.
Okay, not just. That's a big deal.
Well, yeah.
That's a big deal.
I'm Annabelle Fisher. I'm in the class too.
Okay.
I'm Allie Mitchell, and I'm the president of the class of 2021.
Nice. Wow, very good.
Nice to meet you guys.
I'm
John DeGasperis, the lawyer with Bosch and Keegan.
And I'm Derek Spada, also an attorney at Bosch and Keegan.
When you invited these guys, obviously DeGasperis did not get the memo that this is not just radio. It's also on YouTube.
Yeah.
Can we pan?
This is pandemic lawyering. Jeans
one
and a polo.
This is,
if I had known the judge was here, I would have suited up.
Yeah,
though,
right.
Say that.
Did either of you ever appear before Judge Williams?
I have not only appeared before Judge Williams, but I had a trial. I've had 2 trials in front of him, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And come on, now be honest. You appeared in front. Both of you guys are These are excellent, excellent lawyers. And as they don't know, but my reputation is not always one that gives high compliments to all attorneys. These are great lawyers. When John first appeared in front of me, John was a rookie. I did felonies, murders, rapes. John was a rookie, and I was immediately impressed with how your court presence, everything about you, you came afterwards, sat with me. Good lawyer. Derek, my God, as far as knowledge of the law and his ability to communicate it, just two good people, always came prepared, which was critical to me.
He was never this nice on the bench.
No, I was not, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed appearing in front of Judge Williams. As an athlete, I always said that I like to appear or play with the toughest coaches because you learned a lot, and I learned a lot appearing in front of him. So thank you for that.
So let's shift to the students. Is it Allison or Allie?
Allie.
Allie, tell us, you're president, class. What does this mean to you and your fellow students in terms of having this opportunity as opposed to like a big fat goose egg?
Well, we walked into senior year thinking that nothing was going to happen at all. And I remember last year when the 2020 seniors were like, oh, we don't get graduation. Oh, we don't get this. Oh, we don't get that. And I was thinking in the back of my mind, like, obviously I wanted to give them some credit, but I knew that we weren't going to get anything. And we went into school in the fall, still virtual. And I was hopeless about like different events happening like homecoming and other winter events.
Big deal. These are big deal events.
Sure.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
For the rest of your lives.
Yeah.
And my only hope was really the end of the year, but as the end of the year came closer, it didn't seem like the district wanted to do anything. And I've been the president of the class of 2021 for the past 4 years since freshman year, and so I've spent a lot of time, and my fellow classmates have spent a lot of time fundraising, and we were not allowed to use any of the funds that we fundraised for, so it was very frustrating coming into the end of the year.
What were you supposed to do with it?
I still don't
give
think
it to the next class or something? What would? Yeah.
I think that they might. So,
Really?
Which is very frustrating, and I know
Yeah.
all of my classmates are very frustrated about that. But we've done some informal events, but obviously being under 21, it's very difficult to try to plan stuff. So when John and Riley's mom, Jamie, and Maria Maritzis kind of came together and like, well, let's throw a party, something, let's do something.
So cool.
Yeah, and being able to have Bosch and Keegan be sponsors and all of our other sponsors, it's just amazing seeing it all come together because I thought that people really forgot about us.
Yeah.
So.
That's really good. Ladies, what do you think about this event? How it's next, when is it again?
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
It's the 25th. It's after graduation.
And the location is?
At Kingston Point Park. The seniors are going to be in the Rotary part of the park, which is it's
pavilion
beautiful
is?
where the pavilion is. There's a beautiful wrought iron gate in front of it. Beautiful view of the Hudson. We're going to have a massive lit up tent. The DJ will be in the pavilion with the dance floor. Right outside the Rotary section is the beach, Kingston Point Beach, as well as that BMX track, the baseball field. That's where the fireworks are going to be seen from. Cool. So it'll be kind of we're taking over the whole point for these kids. So friends and family should come down to the point, see the fireworks. And
so this is kind of a dress-up deal in terms of, what you would wear to a normal, or is it going to be more cash, or what's the...
So the last ceremony of graduation ends at 6. I mean, it starts at 6 and ends at 7:30, and this event starts at 8. So we really don't have time to get ready, but just wear whatever you want, and yeah.
and students have to sign up. There's a whole list for that.
Yes.
Just seniors, right?
Seniors, the Rotary Park is exclusive to the seniors, but the rest of the point is everyone's invited to come see the fireworks. And the food trucks are going to be outside the park or inside?
there are going to be 2 food trucks outside we learned about. One's, I think, a barbecue truck, and a hot dog company is going to be outside. Then we're, I think well, we got a ton of food coming inside. I think we're going to have, might have an ice cream truck or icy type thing as well. But yeah, no, there's going to be tons of stuff to eat. We're not doing a formal dinner. It's eat, dance, have fun, mingle, enjoy the park, enjoy the fireworks.
So no speeches. Just have a party. Just have
Tony,
a
you can come down and say
no,
something.
No. I'm fine. Judge. You might want to get Judge Williams as a keynote speaker.
To come down.
It also is really nice as of right now because we're only allowed to have 2 spectators at graduation. Each senior is only allowed to have 2 spectators.
Still with the band lifted?
Yes,
Wow.
as of right now. I mean, maybe something will change, but I don't know. So it's really nice to be able to celebrate with your family if you wanted
Who
to.
makes that decision, Ellie? Because your family should be there for you and for them. Who makes that decision? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
But you
John,
are.
who makes that decision? Forget I asked that question.
I'm deferring back to the class president.
Yeah,
No,
Dr.
this-
Patalino.
That's a superintendent.
Yeah.
Paul, right? Sure.
Well,
That's all right.
and how can one get a hold of the
Well, how about them Yankees?
I've tried emailing him. He doesn't answer.
So why is this important to the two of you? Why is this such a big deal?
I mean, I think it's really exciting because, like, these are all people that we grew up with from, like, even, like, elementary school. And so many of them we haven't seen all year. Like, they tell you that you're going to separate from people when you graduate, but it started, like, a year early. And it was kind of sad, like, over quarantine. And I have all these people texting me, like, oh, my gosh, like, I can't wait to see everyone. Like, it's going to be so nice. It's kind of like a last chance that, like, we didn't have.
Right, right. Same? What do you feel?
Yeah, no, I just think that it's a good opportunity to get all of us together in one setting because it's been. You can have this half of the alphabet on this day, and you can have that half, but you can't be all together.
We've had no sense of class identity.
No, you just kind of go in and you walk around the hallways and hope for the best.
That is,
for the
that
last
is
year.
But you can look at this being the first of many future reunions.
Mhm.
That- what a great-
Yeah, technically it is the first reunion since it's right after graduation.
Absolutely.
Change the name. Some of you may have also
2-hour reunion.
gone to kindergarten together. Let me just say, I was at a Rotary meeting in Hudson not too long ago. In fact, it was Monday. There were 2 guys, both cute as buttons, both of them. One was like 81 or 82. One was a pharmacist. One is an attorney up there, celebrating their 75th kindergarten graduation. These are 2 older guys now, and they were like hilarious. I mean, it was just, they were like, oh yeah, we went to kindergarten together. That was so cool. It's 75. They're 80 years old, these guys. So
I have a reunion coming, Kingston High School.
Yeah.
I have a reunion
Not your
coming up this
kindergarten
year.
one, though.
No,
Not as cool.
I was held back in kindergarten, Tony. Remember that I was
I know.
forging a career for a judge, so it took me 3 years to get out of kindergarten.
Good. Oh, that's great.
Let me tell you one of the things that's really amazed me. I mean, aside from what John and Derek and Eli and Maureen have been doing here, I literally made a few phone calls. This event, the parent kind of host is the Chamber of Commerce, and Ward Todd there, he's helped put together some other organizations. It was every time I picked up the phone or made another phone call. What can I do? What can I do? Tony, you
Bill
too.
Calderera, Kingston Rotary.
Yep. No,
Right?
Allie, you know this group of supporters that has
I
just come
mentioned
together.
some of them because it's important that people know that these are community businesses that are concerned about our young folks and having as normal a possible an end to their school year and school career really here in Kingston.
Well, we have the Chamber of Commerce, and then the Kingston Rotary Club, and then Bosch and Keegan, and Feeney Enterprises, Herzog's, Kingston Plaza, Cars Plus Towing, Reese Insurance. Is that who's insuring us?
They insure the chamber. The chamber is the host. Yep.
Santa Fe Restaurants, they're giving us the tent. And
The
Demosthenes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Norman Staffing.
Yay.
Seasoned Delicious Foods, Dallas Hot Wieners, the Bruderhof community. I think they donated tables.
Tables and chairs from the Bruderhof. They've been wonderful.
Great.
Yep. Dan's Recovery and Towing, and obviously the City of Kingston, and Savona's Plaza Pizza.
Great. This is an amazing community story that should be on the front page of the Freeman, not targeting suits about affordable
We should.
housing.
What is important is instead of shopping at Amazon or online, we should be supporting these people because they support all of you and us, especially Bosch and Keegan.
Why was it important for you to get involved in this, the both of you? Why do you think?
For us, I think we enjoy doing things for local people, helping out the kids. And, and I recall high school, I went to Saugerties, and I recall how important those last 2 years were, especially my senior year. It was so much fun. And if I had missed out on that, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, I didn't like school that much. But then 11th and 12th grade, things really turned around for me. And I felt like if I was in your position, being in like the later half of my 11th grade year, going into my senior year, and missing out on all of those activities, I would have hated school. I would have, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that really changed my life or not. In hindsight, when you look back, there's these little events in your life that can change your direction in life, but you don't realize it in the moment. And you might not even realize it later. Looking back, you're not really sure how you ended up here. You're not quite sure what molded you into being who you are and where you are. But I believe those events helped me, or maybe changed my course in life, and maybe that's why I'm here. You just never know for sure. And so for people in your class who are graduating now, you missed out on all of those opportunities. So I feel like hopefully this event perhaps will change the course of someone's life who's there that night.
That's a great answer, Derek. Thank you. Yes.
When I was asked by one of the class representatives whether Bosch and Keegan would consider putting on fireworks, I said I'd ask my partners, and of course, in today's day and age, I sent a group text message. And within 30 seconds, I got a yes from Maureen Keegan, I got a yes from Eli Bosch, and I got let's have a fireworks party from Derek.
Nice.
We can't make decisions that quick on anything. And there was no hesitation about having fireworks. I think the timing's right. The restrictions are being lifted. Everybody's happy that we're going to head back toward some level of normalcy. We're Kingston through and through at Bosch and Keegan. I graduated Kingston High School. The idea of helping you celebrate the next chapter of your life, and there's no hesitation. It's the right thing to do.
Great. A great answer. Talk about college thoughts or careers, or what are you going to be doing after graduation?
I'll be at Georgia Tech studying biomedical engineering, and I'll also be running on the Georgia Tech track team.
Wow.
Cool. That's impressive.
Pretty good. Wow. Judge wanted to jog with you a little bit, maybe, see if you get jogging.
Can I wear the
ladies, any college thoughts or career thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to Siena for English education, and I'm going to be doing the Bonner Service Society, so it's like a lot of volunteer work stuff.
What is it called?
The Bonner Society.
Not familiar with it.
It's just like, it's a nationwide organization, but they do community work all over the country. And it's basically like a job.
Like a service? Is it like a service organization or
not?
Yeah.
Okay. They just like intertwine with the community a lot. It's like 8 to 10 hours a week. It's
Oh, nice. Good. Very good. All right. Sounds good. And?
I am not that established in my college career.
That's okay.
You're going to SUNY Ulster?
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Only place that I filled out an application.
Yay.
For.
Yay.
Only place I got into.
Yay. I went there for my first year of college, and that place saved my life and helped me find a path. So utilize it, save your money, learn, explore all the different subjects that they have to offer. It's a great.
It's amazing.
It opens up so many doors to especially state schools.
Yeah.
My daughter, my brother, all went through Ulster. It's a great place, especially if you're still kind of undecided, which is not that unusual. So.
A little plug, it's actually the #1 community college in New York State. It is pretty good. Programming there is great.
I'm on the SUNY Ulster Foundation board, and so I have intimate knowledge of the dedication that the educators at that school have. I loved it, and it saved my life, and through that institution, I found a path, so I hope the same for you.
There you go.
It's basically Harvard on the Hudson.
Pretty much.
This is good. President Alan Roberts is going to like that tagline.
Bio what?
Biomedical.
You ought to look at politics.
What?
This is sound bites.
Eric and I are hearing product liability.
You know all that fancy equipment in the hospitals that they have?
That I'm seeing on a regular basis?
Yes, exactly. Someone's got to fix that stuff to make sure it spits out accurate results, right? Kind of, sort of.
You know, sitting this close to you,
he wishes the mask mandate was still in place.
It's a little disconcerting.
Oh, man. So you have to feel good about this. I mean, you're kind of one of the ringleaders.
This guy deserves some credit.
I know.
Yes, he does.
Oh,
No one can really, yes.
I know. Yahoo.
John Milgrim.
Yeah.
Every time I just think every time there's a big party in Ulster County, John has something to do with it. You know, and I don't really. I'm assuming there's people helping you, and they deserve credit too.
There's a lot of people
I'm
helping.
impressed by how hard you're working on this for the students.
You know, his position now is a good one, but I will say this with all candor, it's the last thing I will ever say nice about you. John Milgrim, when he was a reporter for the Middletown Record, and I think I was chief assistant at the time,
I think you were, right, under Mike Kavanaugh.
One of the finest reporters, and I will not go through some of the detail. I was responsible for leading the prosecutions of the most serious cases, one of them being the horrible death of Raquel Knox, that you may recall, the first death penalty case put back on the books. John Milgrim knew more about the case from his sources than I did at the beginning. And that was truly annoying. It truly annoying. And it represented how good of a reporter he was because of his sources. It also was the reason that I gave him a certain nickname, which I'm not allowed to say on the radio. I did express it to his journalism class, and he made the mistake of bringing in when I was DA to speak to.
What's that name rhyme with? Give us a clue.
We'll wait till we get off air and these fine young people are not within earshot.
Yeah.
Let's do it. That was, Tony, Don, being a journalist, to me, that was just really integrating into the community. The sources, knowing the stories, telling the stories. And everything I've done since. I've covered Albany politics for years for Dow Jones up there. Worked for state government for 13 years in multiple different capacities. Even there, the Attorney General's office for 4 years. The things we could do for our fellow citizens, for our the people. It always felt good, and that was always a driving force. Just, doing public service. This became kind of a natural offshoot. I'm a parent. I do have a daughter in the senior class. But it was more like, hey, we can do something. Just make a few calls, and we can actually get a bunch of people together and make this happen. Just takes a little logistics and some understanding of how to piece it together, and you're done.
So I can say that there are people that sit on the sidelines, sit in their hands, wait for somebody else to step up, and there are people that do and get involved and organized. And organize. You're one of those people that step up and get stuff done. I'd like to use another word for S, but I can't. You just get stuff done. John, thank you. And for, you're a community, giant here. And so, we're happy to have you in county government, kind of.
Can we talk about the kids again?
Yeah, we can. Let's do a quick recap.
He's not this humble.
I was just remembering that I also wanted to mention that DJ Frankie Bones is coming.
Yep. Frank Waters, who's pretty active in Kingston community too, and really well liked by a lot of the high schoolers I know. So should be awesome.
But this is really nice because our entire year has been defined by an 8x13 screen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be amazing. So when is the event again?
Friday the 25th at 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. Fireworks at 9:30. Food trucks, DJ, dancing. Yeah.
Great.
Oh,
Good times.
photography and.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Carl Cox, the portrait photographer, is going to be there.
Wow.
Taking pictures of the kids for the memories. So.
Wow.
It's
going to be amazing.
Pulling out the stops.
Good. Well, thank you.
You guys deserve it.
Yeah, and thank you so much.
Thanks to Bosch and Keegan.
And thanks to Radio Kingston for letting us.
Right. Thanks
talk
for
about the
coming
event.
in.
Yeah.
thank you to the sponsors again that helped make that happen, and all the best, and have a great event. We're not going to say the R word because it's going to be beautiful.
Oh, yes. No, it's going to be sunny, shiny, and starry night all night long.
Yes, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
All right, congratulations to you. Thanks to Bosch and Keegan. John Milgrim, thank you.
Congratulations. Yesterday was the last day of school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Enjoy the summer.
Great, enjoy. Okay, Lawrence, take it away.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Swimming pools are great for family fun, and Central Hudson wants you to play it safe. Never operate an electric appliance next to or in the pool. Be sure pool motors and filters are grounded. Have them installed by a professional and serviced by a licensed professional electrician. Be very careful if there are electric lines above or near a pool, especially if using long-handled cleaning tools. And if a storm is nearby, get out of the water. Your safety matters.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Screening exams for breast, lung, or colorectal cancers are necessary to detect and treat disease at its earliest, most curable stage. But you may have some concerns and questions. Answer your questions and ease your fears by visiting radiologyinfo.org. In addition to information on screening and wellness, you'll find more than 200 descriptions of radiologic exams, procedures, and treatments to help you prepare. Get informed and be prepared. Visit radiologyinfo.org. Produced by the Radiological Society of North America and the American College of Radiology.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the First Savings Bank in Ulster County that still remains local to this day. Ulster Savings Bank, a community bank that's invested in local business, invested in community, invested in you. Ulster Savings Bank, your one-stop resource for everything local. Locations throughout the Hudson Valley and online at ulstersavings.com. Member FDIC.
All right, folks, we're back. This is Thunder Thursday. Tony Marmo, my partner in crime, so to speak, Judge Williams, is off the bench right now. We're joined by former Undersheriff of Ulster County, Frank, and good friend, dear friend Frank Faluotico. Welcome, my friend.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, brother.
On the radio.
It's been a while. I think you were with us in the old studios. I thought you might bring your dog in today, but
I wasn't sure if the new studios were dog friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. But
one thing anyone can do with you two guys is to step out.
Well, we haven't even gotten started.
Yeah,
we're
actually on the air.
We are on the air.
Thank you for letting me know. That's what that big light that says on
air. That's what it means. I just
Frank Faluotico. How
just
are
introduce
you?
Frank.
I'm good, Judge. How are you?
Tony called me recently, once again at the last minute, asking me to get another guest in, and I went to the well. I said, let's bring somebody in a little bit different, someone who's not afraid to speak.
No, you know it as well as anyone.
Yes, I do. What I didn't know you were close to Tony. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like it's that vowel at the end of
Yeah. Not that you don't have any of those.
I mean, Tony and Nino were the original two, but I jumped on board pretty quick with the Ulster County Italian American Foundation.
Yeah, right.
You know, I really have to pay my dues.
You got to pay your dues.
I haven't gone to anything.
I know. He's got Licardo, is that?
In him,
little?
Yes. Half.
A little.
50%, and honestly, very proud of it.
Yeah.
That side of the family was interesting combination, my mom and dad, but that side of the family, the passion, that's where you get the passion.
What part of Italy was your Italian roots from, do you know?
Called the Aeolian Islands. Oh, yeah. I thought it was Lipari, Lipari. It's not. It's another island, but it's in between the bottom of Sicily, or the top of Sicily and the bottom of Italy.
Oh, no
Never
kidding.
been there. Have to go there. Have to go. Have to go there.
If you got tired of swimming, you stopped there. And if you were trying to swim
I don't think I'd like to swim that. There are many people that would like me.
Have you been?
No, I have to go.
Yeah. You got to go, man.
My life, as Frank knows, for 40 years was basically the DA's office and then the bench. But trying to experience it now.
It was funny. This morning, I was getting ready to drive down here from Catskill, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, when Don was the district attorney, I was his confidential investigator for a while, and by 7:30 in the morning, we already had an hour in the office sometimes.
Well, there weren't a lot of other people there, Frank, but you and I were.
Yeah, you and I were there all the time.
That's the best time to get work done before court would start, before everybody would come in.
That's when we had very open, and pardon the pun, very frank conversation. And
we will not.
Hey, that's what
made
it work.
There's a hidden meaning into that.
Frank conversation. We'll talk about it.
Frank. Yeah.
Give your background though. Just tell folks, your law enforcement background. I think it's super impressive.
I did about 30 years in law enforcement. Continue to work training law enforcement with Homeland Security now. With the pandemic, though, classes have been put on hold, but that's a part-time thing. But I was the Undersheriff, worked with the Sheriff's Office for about 30 years. A lot of narcotics experience, started the Urgent Task Force, and it's interesting because when we said that we were going to get together and talk and we were deciding on a topic, it's interesting to me as I look back now, being retired, growing up in Kingston, New York, and Don grew up in uptown Kingston. I grew up in the Greenkill area. Neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It's like how important neighborhoods were. And I really noticed it during this pandemic where kids aren't playing together. And that almost was somewhat norm for the pandemic. But it was norm before that. I mean, you don't see kids going outside and playing together. You don't see neighborhoods where, we were talking about not too long ago about the problems with law enforcement. The problems with law enforcement aren't really problems with law enforcement. It's problems with our society of not communicating with law enforcement. I grew up, like I said, Greenkill Avenue. In my neighborhood, way before some politician came up with, let's support community policing efforts.
Sound bites, political sound bites.
There was this police detective, and his name was Junius Harris.
Oh, yeah, Junior Harris.
And just incredible man that everybody respected. He lived just off Henry Street in Kingston.
Right.
And he was that guy that everybody knew you could talk to. He was friendly, he was cordial, he cared, and that was the type of thing when kids played together. Kids would do things like, oh, I think I'm in trouble. Oh, what happened? Oh, I was out with my friends last night and we did this. And I think the cops are going to look for it. Well, Junie was the type of guy you could call up and say, am I in trouble?
Right.
And back in those days too, Frank, Junie and other members of the Kingston Police Department walk the beat.
Oh, incredibly, walking the beat was important. When I first started, you walk the beat.
And because of that, especially for young people, I tell the story about Tom Barringer Sr.
Oh, yeah.
You would see people in uniform, and you'd see them in a different light because they were there, much like Junie Harris.
If he was
to help.
walking, you didn't see too much light. He was a big man.
You'd have to stand on a step ladder.
Big man.
You didn't speak to Officer Barringer eye to eye.
No.
Yeah.
But as a young kid, you got to see police officers completely different than the way we look at them now. And I know how dangerous it is to walk the beat. I understand that. It's a different environment. However, I'd like to see officers out walking the beat again. If it takes 2 officers, so be it. But
I want to get back, though, to one question, Frank, is mixed, there was mixed race. It was
Oh,
not,
my God.
right? I mean, it was
interesting to note that Frank just spoke at great length about Junie Harris.
Right.
Yet, what he didn't say, because it was not needed,
Yeah.
was Junie was a black man.
Yeah, African American.
And
yeah.
That's nice.
Right.
To hear people talk about individuals and not categorize them.
He
as
was
color
the
of their
guy that
skin.
made me want to be a cop.
Yeah.
He was
There
the
you
guy
go.
that made me want to be a cop.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because
When I hear stuff about systemic racism, I say it's BS. I have to say because when your example is a perfect one. We didn't see color. We didn't see anything. We just saw friends. We saw people. And if we got pissed off, we got PO'd at a black kid or a white kid or a green. It didn't matter.
how about my neighborhood? We had Native American, German, Polish,
Yeah.
African American, Italian, Irish,
Right. You name
Japanese.
it. Yeah.
You name it. And we all ate in each other's houses. We all played together. And if one kid was missing from the group,
Yeah.
you went looking for him to make sure he was okay.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I talk to kids in my own neighborhood, and I'm like, hey, you ever see that kid down the street? Oh, I haven't seen him in a month. Well, does anybody ever check on him?
And maybe the root problem of this is social media.
Oh, social media.
Cell
man.
phones.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
kids do not have to get out and relate to other kids because of social media.
If you were growing up,
go ahead.
And you got into if Tony and I were in the same neighborhood and we got into a tiff, maybe we took a swing at each other.
Right.
Maybe we called each other names.
Right.
Maybe a parent saw it coming on, either his parent or my parent, stepped in the middle, gave us both discipline, and called my father and said, this is what happened. Now you're in trouble when you got home, too.
Worse.
And that's one of the big problems.
Worse.
When you got home,
you
feared your parents, but that fear was more out of fear of disappointing them.
Yeah.
And instead, you would go home and both mom and dad would sit you aside and say, this is wrong.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go home and the parents would say, we're going to sue those people.
Exactly. That's where we are today, though.
That is where we are.
You know, and it's social media.
Yeah.
Bullying on social media, the spread of lies on social media, and there's no recourse.
Right.
There's no recourse for the things you say about other people on social media to a point where anybody ever pursues it. I mean, it's by the time the news is out there and you defeat it, it's already too late.
Right.
How do we get back there, guys? How can we start to get back there?
Well, first elect.
Simple step.
Yeah.
Simple step. Walk around your neighborhood and say hello to people. Simple step.
Right.
Get your kids to go out and play.
Yeah.
Get your kids away from the cell phone,
Yeah.
away from their laptops or iPads. Let them, because they have to develop those
Turn off the
relationships.
electronics.
It's like the people, the very intelligent people that are extremely progressive that do homeschooling. Maybe they're getting a better education from their parents at home, but they're not relating to other
socialization.
people.
That's a whole
They have to
nother
be
topic.
social.
That is a whole
And
nother
then
topic.
elect
It really is.
politicians that are not seizing the opportunity and praying or playing with these issues that are so sensitive. You know, elect the right politicians.
Yeah.
And finally, somebody's got to hold the media accountable.
Well, it's funny that you would pick up that newspaper and call that the media.
Well,
Right, exactly.
It's what's available to us at this
Yes,
moment on media. And
You know, we were also talking to Kevin Gilfeather in the 7:30 segment about sports and what a big role that played. You pick a pickup game, a kickball game.
Oh, my God.
Right? Out.
You know, and Sarah and I had this conversation, and, you know, it was funny, and my neighbor and I had this conversation, too, about back in the day when you had a simple baseball game in your neighborhood. It's like you knew who the good players were,
Yeah,
and
right.
you knew who the bad players
Right.
were. But you all still played
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah, yeah.
You didn't say, "Oh, that kid can't play because he
Yeah.
doesn't know how to play."
Yeah.
We all played together.
Yeah, right.
And then later on in life, you find out, hey, you know, that kid's like a rocket scientist when it comes to social studies.
Right. And you need to know that kid. Right.
Yeah.
True. And we've lost that. We've lost, you know, look, there were a lot of issues in our era. A lot of issues.
Yeah.
Racism was one of them.
Yeah, it was there.
Absolutely,
it was there.
Is it
was there.
systemic?
There was
I hate that term.
I know.
And it depends on what you mean by systemic.
Right,
but racism existed. And we've come a long way.
By the
We
way,
truly have.
it existed for the Italians, the Irish, the Germans, any immigrant
God, yeah.
population.
It's true.
Any. Not just.
Having said that,
I get it. I get it.
having said that,
I get it.
being black
Yeah.
is easily distinguishable.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I really am so tired of getting pounded about these issues, but you just have to return to the basic. I'm not a black man or a black woman. I don't know what it's like.
Right.
I don't. As much as I've tried, as much as we've worked, there still is the fact we're not that. The problem now is, I mean, for example, when the initial co-founder of Black Lives Matter is a confirmed, admitted Marxist, and yet what hypocrisy, this Marxist is buying up $1 million real estate properties. Capital.
it's
I mean, this
crazy.
is all wrong.
You know, it's amazing that it takes tragedy to galvanize communities.
It's always been that.
But you're right, and it shouldn't be that way. We
Shouldn't
should
be.
be galvanizing before the tragedy
Yeah.
so we can solve that tragedy quicker.
Right.
Because, you know, I'll go back to a case that
Raquel
Don
Knox.
so earlier, Raquel Knox. I have never seen the city of Kingston, more so Ulster County, galvanized as a community in efforts to solve that case, locate that victim, and do as much as they could.
Right.
And if we look back at history, let's look back at history starting there. Okay, that brought a community together. Since then, we've had horrible crimes happen. And people now don't come together for the total effort. They come together in the beginning. But if we stayed together, first of all, we could probably prevent a lot of these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Second of all, we could solve them a lot quicker. Third of all, it would make the prosecution end and even the defense end a lot easier because all the facts would be laid out and not covered up.
Right.
Frank, you may recall, I mean, so much of it is keeping lines of communication open. You may recall, I think you were in the office, the DA's office, when I put together that group that met like once a month.
Yeah.
People from the African Ministers Alliance, it was at the time, now it's just the Ministers Alliance, law enforcement. Indeed, Ismail Shabazz, previously known as Gary Faulkner, was invited to it. And I was so proud of law enforcement because we heard some things and it was open. Nobody, no media,
Right.
no politics. There were open dialogues about real issues. And we did that on a regular basis. And then it bore fruit because you'll also remember, I've forgotten the idiot's name. He was a true bigot and racist. Was it Hal Turner?
Hal Turner, yes.
Hal Turner.
KKK guy.
He was a KKK guy. He came out of
He
New
was
Jersey.
actually an FBI informant playing a
Amazing.
KK guy.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah, he was.
But he had a radio
that's
show
interesting.
where he would spew
Wow.
his bigotry. And what he would do is seize upon an incident in a local community through the nation and then go out and incite riots. And then that racist, piece of manure would then say, see, I told you what these people are like, because they were. So when we had an incident between a black student and a white student at Kingston High School, where the young black man actually, one punch, knocked out and caused some significant injuries to the white student, he seized upon that victim's family. And he was coming to Ulster County. He was coming to Kingston, where he had a press conference in front of the Kingston High School.
Mid-'80s, late 80s.
We worked so hard.
90s.
We worked so hard reaching out, and it was one of the reasons is because we had a group of law enforcement officers that met with other individuals in minority communities on a regular basis in the office, and there was a trust there. It didn't start out that way, but ultimately there was a real trust. So we managed. There were no protests. I called the area colleges. I didn't call Bard. What a mistake. Should have been the first place I called. But we managed.
Bard.
Law enforcement had a great presence. People in the community. Ronnie Wade was knocking on doors saying, do not come out. That's what this racist wants. We trust the DA. We trust law enforcement here. And then when this idiot came and he had somebody dressed in a Nazi uniform standing next to him, there was no one there to talk to other than the media. Right out in front of City Hall. I remember watching it with Mayor Satile at the time. There was no one there. And that was because, Frank, of the communication, the open lines of communication we had. There's none of that anymore. Right. All we have now are politicians seeking a tragedy or seeking an instance which is bad and further driving a wedge between segments of the population.
Yeah, and I look at some of these things that politicians are saying today, and it's, the defund the police movement. Well, that's just stupid. It's not really defunding the police. If you think that's going to take the bad cop off the street, you're wrong. Yeah. What happens is when you defund, and police chiefs, sheriffs, even the state police now have to deal with this. Okay, you took away money. What's the first thing in the budget we take away when you do that so people don't lose their jobs? Training. Right. So now you take away training. Now you want to retrain cops because you want them to do this now. Mm-hmm. Okay, but you just took away the money to train them to do that. Yeah. So it's kind of like buying all the materials to build a house
never
build a house.
Yeah.
So really that's where we are today. And do things have to be improved? Absolutely. Yeah. Did things have to be improved when I came on the job? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Do things continue to improve if you allow them to and do them right? Absolutely. They're doing it wrong now. Mm-hmm. They're not improving. They're letting the problem stay because you've taken away the money to fix the problem.
And to take a look at the violent crime rates that have increased dramatically in those cities such as New York City that have, to some regard, defunded the police. Well, and the people that want police presence, they want to be treated perhaps differently, but the people that want police presence are those areas, those communities that are victimized the most.
So if you layer all this, people are not communicating, there's these really strong feelings on both sides of these issues, layer now into the gangs and the drugs that are coming on top of this community, it's a perfect storm. It's a perfect storm.
The gangs, the drugs, the pandemic,
right,
which has caused all sorts of mental health issues.
Right, we talked about that earlier.
Anybody who's ever trained a puppy, as soon as that puppy can get out of his leash, he's off running.
Right.
Okay? And it's true. I chased one just this past weekend. So
it's probably my dog.
No,
so it escapes on a regular basis.
Here it goes. It's free, right? What's going to happen when we start going back to the norm after this pandemic and nobody really knows the rules? Mm-hmm. Things are going to run wild.
Well, there are no rules.
Right.
Yeah.
And, well, there are rules, but there's no consequence for the rules.
It's true.
So, there's no consequence. It's like, oh, you did that? Like, I think back, and I'm old school. And I'll say I'm old school, but compared to when I came on, I'm not really not.
Right, that was really old school.
And that's really, you talk about evolving police.
Each generation
each generation it changes. But I'm looking at, I watch the news, and I try not to, but occasionally I do, and you hear. And the subject was released on appearance tickets, and I picture this guy as the district attorney, and Mike Kavanaugh prior to him saying, "You did what?"
And you want what? Yeah, could you start with just repealing the bail reform?
People charged with murder or attempted murder being released to the community on technicalities?
Yeah. Can you start with repealing
bail reform?
Bail reform.
Bail reform is, well, they backed away from it a little bit, but it's absolutely ludicrous. First of all, have you ever been a victim of a residential burglary?
Have not.
It's dealing with victims of burglary. It is one of the most traumatic crimes anyone can experience as a victim. You never get over the fact that there is no longer the one place you can feel safe. Yet now, under bail reform and the legislation, burglary of a dwelling, people illegally entering your dwelling that you don't even know and stealing or committing some other crime, it's not considered a violent crime. It's not considered a violent crime, which is absolutely ludicrous.
Mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
That is what part of bail and bail had to be reformed. We know that. But once again, much like getting rid of the Rockefeller drug laws, which were archaic, they were bad, but don't throw all of it out. Exactly. Keep that which is good, and there were parts of the Rockefeller drug laws that were good, and throw out what's bad. But we don't do that in our society. The politicians seize what is politically expedient and drive that home. And
which is why people are leaving New York State, amongst other things, in droves, on top of the taxes, on top of the, there's a lawless state now.
Well, you see now that the mayoral race.
It's a beautiful state, Frank, absolutely.
The mayoral race in New York City.
It's like a circus.
It's like a circus, but do you see when they do polls?
Right.
The number one concern now? Safety.
Yeah, safety.
Safety.
Yeah.
People
not surprising. Undersheriff, right?
Well, it is when it is when it comes from New York City.
Because what's government's primary purpose?
Protect the people.
Protect the people. And that's what it comes down to. People want to be safe. Why am I paying taxes if I can't be safe? I don't care about the pothole in the road.
Yeah, right.
I don't care that the street light's not lit.
Whatever.
I care about someone not, like Don just said, walking into my house and there's no consequence for that.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to come to a point, like you're cooking dinner for your family, somebody comes in, you just set another plate, because if not,
you'll just take it.
If not, you're subject to lawsuit because you've discriminated against his criminal activity. You know? It's just become to a point where we need to get back to basics. And I'll go back where I started, because I know we're at the end of time. I'll go back to neighborhoods. The simple way to fix it, Tony, I really, truly believe, walk your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Say hello to people. Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to be friends. You don't have to come over for dinner. At least I know you're Tony. I'm Frank. I know that you live there. I live here.
Right.
And you know
what?
what?
Like the Yankees. I like the Mets. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Have a dialogue with somebody. Find some common interests.
Got to draw the line there.
On dialogue?
You're a Yankee fan?
I'm a Yankee fan.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
My father met Babe Ruth. What can I tell you, man? He was when he was a little kid. He met.
Well, maybe back then baseball was okay, but I have a problem with guys going on strike.
Oh God!
Who make as much as what my whole department made in a year.
I don't disagree with you there. I love the sport. I love the sport of baseball. I don't like the professional world. Right. You know what I mean?
Well, something, and I agree 100%. I mean, the shortstop for the Mets, I'm a Met fan, making $34 million a year is offensive. But what happens is, why is it only that professional athletes who are entertainers get criticized for the money they make, and yet Drake
Yeah.
He made $99 million last year. How about
the music entertainment?
How about
the actors?
Yeah. What about you never hear actors or actresses criticized for the money they make, which is far greater than athletes. And what about the heads of these huge corporations that are paying no taxes, no income taxes?
Yeah.
What is that about?
It's gotten away. I mean, I think things over the last 50 years, just take 50 years as an example, the world has just absolutely gigantically changed. Gigantically.
But if we don't start as the seed,
I agree.
Of bringing back
Frank,
the
I
basics,
agree.
the basics will never
Right.
come.
And you know what? And it's our kids too have a responsibility. I'm sorry to say that. We raise these millennials, if you want, and they're part of the problem. Get involved. Hey, I was hitting my kids ground balls. I was teaching my kid how to make a left-handed layup.
But you see, the problem is now with us as parents working so hard, being so concerned about making money, we're putting our kids in front of a cell phone or a computer or a laptop because it's easier. So I think
Frank Faluotico, you're going to have to come back, and we're going to have to continue this dialogue because this is a 3-hour radio show at least.
Well, it could be, but you know what? I'd really like to. So
yeah,
thank
we'll have you back.
I appreciate
We'll have you
it.
back. Everyone, be safe. Go do a random act of kindness for somebody. Right?
Yeah, why don't you start with me, Tom?
All right, I'll carry your papers out. Lawrence, thank you. Everyone, be safe, be well, and go out and take care, folks. All right, thanks.